This is Covering the Spread, part of the FanDuel Podcast Network.
Could not be more excited to have NASCAR back in Chicago for this weekend. If you didn't watch last year's race, it was a whole lot of fun, a good showcase for both NASCAR and for the city of Chicago. I will be there this weekend. Couldn't go last year because I had not yet moved from the East Coast, but this time I'll be there both Saturday and Sunday. So today we're going to break down my top bets at FanDuel Sportsbook for both the NASCAR Cup Series and the Xfinity Series to get you ready for what should be a fun weekend on the streets of Chicago. This is Covering the Spread right here on the FanDuel Podcast Network and FanDuel Research. My name is Jim Saunas. I am a managing editor of digital media for FanDuel Research, here to break down NASCAR for this weekend at the Grant Park 165 and the Loop 110, letting you know where I see value at FanDuel Sportsbook for this weekend. We'll dive into all that here in just 1 second, but first, a reminder to make sure you're subscribed to the Covering the Spread podcast feed wherever you get your podcasts. Even more crucial now than usual, given our relaxed summer schedule, popping in to cover the biggest events of the summer, including Euro 2024. We discuss the quarterfinals with Dr. Ed Feng on Wednesday. To get that show, just search for Covering the Spread wherever you get your podcasts. You can also find that one over on the FanDuel YouTube page. Give that video a thumbs up as well. We appreciate those of you who have done so already. Next week, we'll talk more Euro 2024 right here in this exact same feed. The dog days are here, and the coolest place to get in on the MLB action is FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook, because this summer, FanDuel is hooking up all customers with a boost or a bonus every single day. That's right. There's something for everyone every day, all summer long. You can score bigger winnings in any inning with profit boosts, snag bonus bets or home runs every Tuesday, and even beat the heat with no sweat bets. So head over to FanDuel and start making the most of your summer. FanDuel, official sports betting partner of Major League Baseball. Must be 18 plus in DC and 21 plus in present in select states. Opt-in required. Wager requirements apply. Bonuses awarded as non-withdrawable bonus bets or profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including bonus expiration. See terms and conditions at FanDuel.com/sportsbook. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit FanDuel.com/RG in Colorado, DC, Iowa, Kentucky, Michigan, New Jersey, North Carolina, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Illinois, Tennessee, Vermont, Virginia, and Wyoming. Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP or text NEXT STEP to 53342 in Arizona, 1-888-789-7777, or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut, 1-800-9-WITH-IT in Arizona, or 1-800-9-WITH-IT in Indiana, 1-800-522-4700 in Wyoming, 1-800-522-4700, or visit ksgamblinghelp.com in Kansas, 1-877-770-STOP in Louisiana, visit mdgamblinghelp.org in Maryland, 1-800-GAMBLER.net in West Virginia. Hope is here. Visit gamblinghelplinema.org or call 800-327-5050 for 24/7 support in Massachusetts, or call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY in New York. Let's take a look here at the betting odds for this weekend in the NASCAR Cup Series first. Obviously, Shane Van Gisbergen is a favorite at FanDuel Sportsbook, 5-1 to win this race. He won last year, his first Cup Series race, got the win there, and then he has since won a pair of races in the Xfinity Series too. So it makes sense that SVG would be the favorite for this one. I'm not quite there. Looking at the odds board here, I do show value in Michael McDowell 13-1, Ty Gibbs 14-1, and AJ Allmendinger 16-1. Gibbs is in the NASCAR betting guide for me on Wednesday. Wrote up him to win when he was 20-1. He has since shortened to 14, and that's where I start to get a little bit nervous because there's a chance that Gibbs could points race here. He is currently well above the playoff cut line, but if one more driver outside the top 16 wins, that's where he'll be in the thick of it for one of the final playoff spots. So I think I'm okay passing over Gibbs at 14-1 and standing pat on the 20-1 from earlier on this week. With Gibbs shortening, my favorite outright right now at FanDuel Sports is going to be on Kyle Busch, who is 34-1 to win this race. And no points racing concerns for Kyle Busch because he needs a win. He needs a win to make the playoffs and also extend his streak of 19 straight years getting a victory in the Cup Series. And honestly, as weird as it may sound, I do think that a road course may be one of his better chances to get a win. He has run 8 road courses with Richard Childress Racing, and he has 2 runner-up finishes in that time and 4 separate top 5s. He would have had a 5th top 5 in Sonoma had he not gotten spun by Ross Chastain on the last lap. Now, last year in Chicago, Busch finished well, but wasn't super fast there, benefited from strategy and some good fortune. Didn't see a ton of speed there, but I like what he's done overall on road courses during his time with Richard Childress Racing. So when you look at that, I've actually got Busch at 4.6% to win this race. At 34-1, his implied odds are 2.9%. So we got a lot of margin here, especially when you consider that he should be on the optimal strategy. So I think there's good value on Busch to win this race, even as bad as his year has been, at 34-1. I do show value on Busch as well. He is plus 470 to finish inside the top 5. That's 22 points. That's 17.5% implied. I'm at 22.6%. So what I want to do here is go with the approach we talked about before, where we go with a ladder bet, where you take whatever bet size you want to put on Kyle Busch. You're a bet size you are okay losing because it is longer odds for a reason. And you allocate the largest portion of that bet size to the top 5 and then put a little bit on the win as well to give yourself upside should he wind up claiming the checkered flag. Both those bets individually are good values for me. I think there's a bit better value on the outright. So if I were picking one, I'd probably go that direction. But both those are good bets based on my numbers. And again, that's before accounting for the fact that he'll probably be on the optimal strategy for this race as well. So Kyle Busch to win 34-1 and Kyle Busch top 5 plus 470, my first 2 bets for the Cup Series. The other one I want to go towards is a top 10, and I do show value in this driver in upside markets too, but he's in a similar points position to Ty Gibbs, and there's a chance he does does gun for stage points, which I would understand here. We'll take Alex Bowman top 10 at plus 240. That's down from plus 330 earlier on this week when I wrote about him on Wednesday, but there is still value here. I'm at 38.7%. His implied odds at the shortened number are 29.4%. And the reason I have him there is because Bowman's had a good track record on road courses in the next gen era. He has run 13 races in this time, and he has 5 top 10s, which is a 38.5% rate, which is right in line with where my numbers have him, but well above where the market has him. One of those top 5s is this year at Circuit of the Americas. He ran decent in Sonoma too, finished 15th there, so no top 10, but did run pretty well. Last year in Chicago, Bowman's car literally lit on fire, which is not ideal. Nothing to do about that, though. Kind of bad luck. I'm okay overlooking that one race. But just in general, Bowman has been a good road racer. He also has 4 top 5s in this span, so upside has been there. Again, I'm not targeting a top 5 market for Bowman, given that there is a pretty decent risk he'll race for points, and I'm less optimistic he can fight his way through traffic as with Gibbs. And that's why I'm avoiding the higher upside markets here. But I'm content to settle for the top 10 with Bowman. He can rally to finish there if he does go for stage points as well. So I do like plus 240 a lot for Alex Bowman. So bets I like for right now, FanDuel Sportsbook for the Grant Park 165. Kyle Busch to win 34-1, paired with his top 5 at plus 470. Alex Bowman top 10 plus 240. We'll circle back on Sunday morning, the NASCAR betting guide over at FanDuel Research to add more bets if after practice and qualifying, if any more value does arise. The NASCAR Xfinity Series is also running on Saturday at Chicago, and this field is loaded. It has SVG there. As mentioned, he's won a couple of road courses already in the Xfinity Series, so he's doing well there, but then he's paired with Ty Gibbs, Kyle Larson, AJ Allmendinger, Joey Logano. So we've got 3 Cup Series champions in this, or 2 Cup Series champions in this field, and then Ty Gibbs, who I like to win in the Cup Series, so of course, pretty high on him for Xfinity too. It's tough to be super high on anybody when there's such stiff competition. I'm pretty close on Allmendinger plus 650. I have him at 11.4%. So if he were to get to 8-1, that's probably the range where I'd show value on him. So keeping eyes on Allmendinger, because I'm pretty receptive to him. And, I like him for Sunday as well. So in general, higher on Allmendinger than others may be. The 2 guys I'm willing to target right now at their current odds are Joey Logano and Austin Hill. Logano is 18-1 to win this race, and he's driving for AM Racing. It's a team that struggled so far this year. She's adjusting. They've been running with Haley Deegan, who's adjusting to the Xfinity Series car. She ran the Truck Series the past couple of years, so still getting used to the Xfinity Series. The struggles there are understood, but it's not bad equipment. this team, AM Racing, has an alliance with Stewart-Haas Racing. And last year, when they had Brett Moffitt in the car, a more veteran driver, they finished 4th in this race in Chicago. They had a top 10 in Indianapolis, 12th place runs in Portland and Sonoma. So they've got the pace to be competitive. And now you put a 2-time Cup Series champion in the car. I think 18-1 is pretty long for him. Logano, not the best road racer, but he's not a scrub by any means either. He was 5th in Charlotte last year, 3rd in Sonoma, 8th in Chicago in the Cup Series last year. I just think that he's being undervalued due to how this team has performed this year. They're not a backmarker team by any means. So I have Logano at 7.8% to win. His implied odds are 5.3%. So I think there is good value on him there. As you can see on the screen, Austin Hill just below him, 25-1. That's 3.8% implied. I have him at 6.5%. And he's similar to Logano, where he's not an amazing road racer, but he's also not bad. He was 5th in Sonoma this year, 2nd at Circuit of the Americas. That was another loaded field. I believe Larson was also in that field, along with Gibbs, Van Gisbergen, Dinger. And Hill had 4 top 5s and 8 road races last year, including a 5th place run in Chicago, where he had a 3rd place average running position. It may be hard for him to beat this many studs because I think upside is the biggest question with Hill at a road course, but he's been relatively steady in what could be a chaotic race. So I think that 25-1 is long enough for us to bite on Austin Hill, and I don't mind that one. I also could see considering Sheldon Creed. Sheldon Creed is right here, 18-1, same odds as Logano right now. Actually, he just shortened. No, he's 20-1. So 20-1 for Sheldon Creed, 4.8% implied. I have him at 5.4%. Creed is regarded as a better road racer. So if you want to go with him over Hill, I'm not going to blame you for that. So that's another route you could have as far as value. If you want a long shot, Riley Herbst is 100-1. I've got him above that. I have value on Riley Herbst every single week, it seems. So probably not a huge surprise there. But my 2 favorite bets for Xfinity are going to be Joey Logano 18-1 and Austin Hill at 25. If you're going to be in Chicago for this weekend, I'll be wearing the Chris Buescher hat that I'm wearing right now. So feel free to come say hi. If you see me anywhere around the track this weekend, I would love to chat with people about some NASCAR for this weekend. That's all we have here for today on Covering the Spread. As mentioned, back with you next week talking some more Euro 2024. To get those shows as they are posted, make sure you're subscribed to Covering the Spread wherever you get your podcasts. And also check us out on the FanDuel YouTube page. You can find me on X at Jim Sonis. You can find FanDuel Research on X at FanDuel Research. Want to thank you all for tuning in for today. Good luck to you with your bets for NASCAR in Chicago. We'll talk to you once again next week. This has been Covering the Spread right here on the FanDuel Podcast Network.